everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Mandy and I'm a full-time reseller. And on today's video, we are going to go over my sales for February 5th through the 11th. So this week I actually did not do any live sales. I think I did one, but only did it for like, I don't know, probably 18 minutes. There was no one talking, no one buying anything. So I just kind of cut it short. People were not staying in there. And I mean, honestly, it's just very uncomfortable to be talking to yourself and should just keep running stuff. So I just cut that one short, and then the rest of the week I really just did not have time to do any. So this week I'm hoping to get in. Today is Wednesday. I have one scheduled for tomorrow, kind of like afternoon. Friday I will probably do one. I don't really do on the weekends just because I feel like there's more competition then. Something that I am finding with the live shows, it's very hard to, what do I want to say? Get traction or get people into your shows, especially when you are doing them the same time that people are doing the palette shows or the designer bag sales or the Lululemon shows. So I'm trying to find some sort of sweet spot on when seems to be the best, or until I get, more of a following and people are coming because they have bought from me in the past. So as of right now, it has been very slow going, but I will say only doing that short amount of show last week, I don't know if that affected my Poshmark, because I had like half the sales I did normally on Poshmark this last week. So I don't know if that has anything to do with it or if it was just, luck of the draw and that's just what I got this week. As far as any promotions or sales that I ran this week, I did do, what did I do? On eBay from like an hour before the Super Bowl started, and then you have to run the sale for 24 hours, so it had to run for the full 24 hours. I did do 49% off select items. Not everything, just things that had been sitting for a period of time. Got 0 sales on that. But I did find that Sunday was pretty busy up until the Super Bowl, so maybe I should have done it sooner. Not really sure. And then on Poshmark, I did go through some of my older listings and did drop the price 49%. And then that hit with closet clear out, so then they were also offered the $4.99 shipping. I only did get 2 sales from that, which I was very shocked. I thought for sure some of the better brands, someone would have, got on that deal, like Free People dresses I had. I think some shoes. So it was a great deal, but people passed on it. So now I'm going to flip you around and we will take a look at all my numbers. I give you totals from each platform, what the fees are, so then you get an idea of what I'm taking home for the week. And then you can also see my photos, titles, descriptions, all of that good stuff. So I will flip you around. Okay, so like I said, this is for the week of February 5th through the 11th. Starting with Mercari, again, kind of surprising to me. I don't normally get very many sales on there, but with the consistently getting over $100 a week, like last week was over 200, the week before was almost 200, 63, that's a little bit more average, 42. So within the last like 3 weeks, it's been averaging, 150 to 200, which is great, especially because shipping is a little bit cheaper over there for lighter items and the fees are not as high as Poshmark. So 5 items sold there, leaving me with the profit of $121.97. Then on to Poshmark, like I said, only 12 things sold. So I don't know if it just wasn't my week, for things to be looked at in my closet, or if it was because I didn't do the live sales. So we'll see next week. So far this week has been going pretty well. I've had a couple higher dollar items sell. So my gross sales were 286. My profit after the fees were taken out was 226.60. And then eBay was a little bit higher too for sales. I'm normally kind of in that like, I don't know, 5 to 7 range. So we had $316.01, 10 items sold. Profit was $218.76. Average sale price was $31.60. Live sales, nothing, because I didn't really put much effort into it last week. Totals were $746.01 after my fees, which were $178.68. And then my cost of goods, I use an average cost of goods. Right now it's around $3. So that left me with what I take home for the week, which was $486.33. Average sale price $27.53 and 27 items sold. So the average sale price compared to last week, it's kind of been hanging around that $27 dollar amount here for the past couple weeks, which is great. I mean, obviously we would all want it to be $50 because you're doing less work. But like I've said in the past, in my area, I just don't really find those really big name brands. So I am fine being more of a volume seller and selling things quickly rather than, finding a dress that's worth $400 and sitting on it for a year and a half. And that's just kind of my business model. So now I will show you some of my listings. So now on to Poshmark. Victoria's Secret bra sold for 18. I did just get done saying that I was going to be very hesitant on what I'm picking up from this brand. And then like the last 2 weeks, I've sold, I think, 4 or 5 bras. So for whichever reason that happened, I am happy and welcome it. This was a brand from Pretty Little Thing that's kind of like a Shein, Fashion Nova type brand. This was new with tags. I'm assuming it's probably a Valentine's Day dress. They did already receive it. I think they bought this like last Sunday. And this went for 19. I picked that up at the bins. Tabby, this brand is similar to J. Crew for me. I love selling it. It has a following. People just seem to know what they're looking for when it comes to this brand. I don't have to put too much effort into the keywords. As long as you have, like what they need to know, the size and everything, and then the style code, that seems to really help the sale. So this went for I believe an offer of 34, and I got these at Goodwill for $1.99. This one was actually pretty interesting to me. I had this in a live show in one of my plus size shows, and I did go back and look through everything that I had in those sales because I had run them a couple times and thought, I'm just going to list some of them and see what happens. And actually, 2 sold for way more than what I had in the live show. This one I had the auction starting at $7 and no one seemed interested in it. And this was actually an outright sale for $35. So I'm going to kind of start thinking a little bit more about what I'm putting in the live shows and see if maybe it is more beneficial to just list them. We'll see. Kappa, I believe this brand was popular a couple years ago, like more so popular. I bought this probably like 6 months ago, thinking it would flip fairly fast. It didn't, and it sat forever. I kept dropping the price. I was relisting it, and finally somebody offered me 12, and I decided to just let that go. These were a pair of Nikes. I don't know very much about Nike shoes. I know that all the girlies love their white Air Force Ones, and these look similar to Air Force Ones. They have the platform. They're all white, so I picked these up at Goodwill for $7.99. They're the Court Vision Ulta sneaker, if that means anything to anyone. And these sold probably within a couple months. J. Crew, like I said, one of my favorite brands. This was picked up at the bins. Just a pair of cropped cargo pants for $18. And I think these were pretty old, probably like 2015, I think the tag said. And I still got $18 for it. I did use keywords like Gorp Core and Granola Girl. These are a pair of Levi's 501XX jeans. They show that on the actual label here. These I had in my bin to send to Plato's, and I thought, you know what? I'm just going to try selling them myself and see what happens. They were kind of a obscure size, 33 by 29. You don't see 29 very often. So I did list them, and they sold, I think, within 2 weeks for $24. So that's another thing I'm also going to kind of look at. For the longest time, I've just been going to the bins. Anything that's been trendy, kind of like lower end, I've just not thought twice about it and put it in a Plato's bag. But now I'm wondering if I should hold off on some of that stuff and try listing it first. I don't know. It's like, do I want the fast cash, or do I want to use my time and list it to potentially get more money? I'm not really sure. That's something I'm just going to kind of play with here in the upcoming weeks. This I actually just showed in last week's video, I think. These spring step shoes. I wish I would have picked up every pair they had. They had 2 more, but I think the other 2 they wanted like $20 for. I would have had a 25% off coupon. These I think were only marked at 12 maybe, but these sold within a week for $60. So I guess this is something to kind of keep your eye out for. And this one I did use the keyword steampunk. This was something I probably should not have picked up. I got it at one of the local thrift stores. It was 80% off. So I think I probably only paid like $1 or so for it, but it was just a pair of Gap lounge pants. They were new with tags and extra, extra large, but I did only get $12 for these. This was part of my sale that I ran on that Sunday, a Steve Madden. It was a wristlet purse. You could also use it as a little clutch. This went for 10. And this was the other item that went for that sale, ModCloth. I had this for quite a while. This is one of those items where I listed this probably last year and I got an offer shortly after listing it, and I should have just taken it because after I declined that offer, there really was not too much more interest on this. So now I ended up a year later only selling it for 14. So lesson learned there. This was a Steve Madden belt. I got this at, I believe, Goodwill. I always make sure to check the hats, the belts, suspenders, sometimes even the socks section. And you'll be surprised on the amount of money you can make on belts and accessories. And they're normally pretty cheap. They're easy to ship and they're easy to store. So if you have extra time or you don't normally check those areas in your thrift store, I would take just a little bit of time and check it out. This did go for full asking price of 18. This I picked up not too long ago at Savers, and this went for full asking price of 50. This was, I don't believe that this was vintage. It was older, but I don't think this one was vintage. It was a denim Harley Davidson vest. Madewell, this came in one of my ThredUp boxes probably a couple months ago now. And this did go for an offer of $42. It was new with tags in a bigger size. Nike dry fit crop top. This came in a Quick Lots box, and this did go for an offer of 20. And then the last item for Mercari, this I picked up at the bins, I think last week or the week before maybe. Just a plus size flower print tankini set. When it comes to swimwear, I'm kind of picky on sets. I'm only picky when it comes to if I only have a top or I only have a bottom, those I have been leaving behind. But if I can find a matching set or a one piece and I try and stick with larger sizes, and if they're new with tags, that's even better. This went for an offer of 14, but I probably only paid like $1.20 for this at the bins. Now on to eBay. These I found at Savers not too long ago. It was like, I don't know if someone had a bunch of clothes that they ended up getting rid of in their own personal closet, but they were all these really small sizes and they were all from like early 2000s, a lot of Calvin Klein jeans. There was some other ones too, but these were the only ones that I thought I could make my money back fairly quickly because they were all pretty small in size. So these were Liquid X. They were a black velvet flare pant with the lace up on the front, and they were new with tags, only a size 3. This went for an offer of 28, and I think I only paid like $8 for these. Soft Surroundings, another brand I really like to sell. Bigger sizes normally do better with that. And this did go for an offer of $32.99. This was picked up at the bins. Frame, not a huge fan of this brand anymore. I got this in a Quick Lots box. They were white Bermuda shorts, which I was like, don't love selling white, but these did go for an offer of $40.99, which is great. This was also picked up at the bins, just like an embroidered floral vest. I knew someone was going to buy this at some point. It did go for an offer of $18.99. These were a pair of vintage Old Navy cargo pants, men's, and these went for an offer of $16.95. Kind of low, but there was some damage, I think, to the bottom hems. And I did get these at the bin, so I didn't have much into them. This was the other item I had in a live show that I pulled to list on my own. This is Denim & Co. It was a seersucker square neck blouse in a 2X. And this went for an offer of 19, also picked up at the bins. So I'm going to, really kind of think about that. Okay, next is Knox Rose. This was just a size large. It was new with tags. This really pretty magenta color, and this went for an offer of 14. Would I pick this up again? Probably not. I definitely want to stick to larger sizes. But I only did pay $2 for this, and it didn't take very long to sell. And this is also the newer Knox Rose tag, so keep your eye out for that. Steve Madden, this came in a Quick Lots box. It was just kind of like a shirt tie dress. This went for an offer of $25, which is quite a bit lower than what I was asking, but I think I might have had this overpriced. It was new with tags. Cabby, once again, this one went for an offer of $19.95. And then the last sale was Draper James RSVP. This is the Kohl's line. I know some people don't want to pick this brand up at all with the Kohl's. I think I've done pretty well with it. You just want to make sure that you're looking for certain types of fabrics and sizes. This one was a little bit, not a larger size. It was just a 12. It was new with tags. It did have this pink and white gingham print on there. Normally I stick to like extra large and over. The bigger the size, the better. If it's velvet, if it's linen, if it's maxi length, if it has kind of more of a Christmas theme to it with like plaid, that does the best. And especially if you can find it new with tags. So going into next week, I will probably be doing more live shows. I did order something kind of large on Sunday morning. I don't really know what possessed me to do it. It was like 6 o'clock in the morning and I was still in bed just kind of on my phone. And I decided to order, I don't really want to tell you what it is yet. Let's just say I ordered 100 pounds of something. So that's supposed to be here tomorrow. I'm not sure if that video will be up on Friday or it's going to have to maybe be broken into a couple different videos. We'll see what that kind of ends up being. If you are interested in what that is, make sure to hit the subscribe button if you are not subscribed. I also am working on the video. I talked about doing this in my resolution video I made at the beginning of the year. I'm going to go over a couple different apps that I use to save money where you can get cash back from buying certain things. I think it's beneficial since, we are resellers, we're always buying stuff. So anywhere that you can save some money or get money back, I think is always a great option. So if you're interested in that too and you aren't subscribed, make sure to hit that button. And then I am also going to the actual Goodwill bins on Tuesday of next week with my mom. So that's another reason why I probably shouldn't have bought that 100 pounds of, you'll see. Because I am going to be pretty much drowning in inventory. Whenever I do go to the actual Goodwill bins, I normally come home with like at a minimum 50 pounds, probably closer to like 75, 80. So I do foresee a lot of work in my future, but that's always great. I love having great inventory, and hopefully great inventory equals into great sales. If you enjoyed today's video, please make sure to give it a like. It really helps out the channel and I really appreciate it. I will see you in the next video. Bye!